Hey y'all, APG Jamie here on behalf of Art Joy of Sharing. And this month the hashtag is AJOS 2020 as usual for 2020. And hashtag habit. As you know, I've been doing real good about keeping my projects in my baskets and such and whatnot. This is just miscellaneous leftover stuff. Personally, I think I've been doing really well keeping it all gathered mostly in one basket. I do have stuffs for her on my desk. We're going to play with this. I am not expecting great things, okay? But you just never know when you let the intuitiveness take over, which is a good habit to get into, speaking of habits and all. Oh, these are a nod and a wink to Frida Kahlo. These my Frida eyebrows. Don't you love them? Frida Kahlo eyebrows. They match my hair, which is a mess. Can't find my crown. Haven't had it since I vacuumed the bedroom the other day. Oh, it's probably hanging on the back of the bed, isn't it? So, to the desk. Getting started, y'all.
Well, alrighty then. So we're going to start with all this treasure junk on my desk. And, you know, we're just going to see, where it takes us. Now, what I did pick out was the background page there. That is a previously mono printed painty paper. Okay. And I've got some die cuts here and, you know, just some leftover bits from other projects have been piling up on my desk. And I do have that bucket that I tend to stick them in, but I thought, you know what, right now I'm going to see if I can use any of these, and whatever's left after that, then it'll go in that bucket. Oh, those darling little flowers, y'all. Adorables. And I have this whole sheet of the same quote. I don't know what it was for. I don't know. But obviously, I didn't make notes. Make a habit. Try to make a habit of making and keeping notes, y'all. Okay? And then maybe you'll remember why you have something. Just throwing it out there. So, I've got a lot of these. And they're stamped images that I fussy cut it out. And I've got some little brown leafy viney thingies too. And you know what I noticed while I was editing this video is I never moved that cabinet card or Tim Holtz card or found relative or whatever that card is with the picture card, y'all. I never even shifted it over to the right side to see how I liked it over there. So obviously I'm going to have to say I loved it on the left. Okay? Okay. And it's okay to love something. It's okay not to move it and try it somewhere else. If you're like, nope, that's where it's going, then that's where it's going. That's called intuitive arting, y'all. So our theme for this month is habit. Now, habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. Not quite like an automatic reflex, you know, like when you slam your eyes shut because you think something's fixing to hit you in the face. Not quite like that. But we can get so caught up into some of our habits that we're not even paying attention to what we're doing. Okay, so try to be mindful somewhat too. I know it's so contradictory. Do this, no, do that. So you want to make a new habit, okay? You want to do, let's say you want to try intuitive arting. If you don't already do that, okay, maybe you do. And I bet you do, you just don't realize you do. And by intuitive, I mean just going where your piece that you're working on leads you to go, not following a pattern or colors or stuff like that, okay? Specific colors, not that. Okay. Intuitive art, you have to be willing to play. Just saying. Okay, and here's the thing about forming new habits. We've all heard for many years that it takes 21 days to make a habit. I've done a little bit of research, just a little bit, not much, okay? And it really takes a minimum of 21 days. It can take up to 254 days. That's almost an entire year, y'all. Not the way we want it, not the way we expect it. But really, on average, it takes about 2 months, and that's pretty much without skipping any days, because you know, you skip a day and you might have just blowed that new habit out the water. Just saying. Okay, so to form some new habits or a new habit, just take them one at a time. Say, I want to do this, and just do it, that one thing. Okay, and then you just keep it simple. Okay, and try to remember this is something you want. All right. Okay. Now, where were we? Videoing. We are gluing down these strips. They all don't necessarily, they're not from, well, 2 of them are from the same painting paper, and a couple of them, I don't know, y'all. These are truly just a bunch of carp just laying up on my desk. And and that's a piece of, I would call it a burlap ribbon, but it's not really burlap, but it is kind of ribbonish. I don't know. So, anywho, we're working along, and y'all saw me just fiddle farting around with position and stuff, and I'm liking the little cluster there. I don't know where that came from, but I'm going with it because that's what I thought to do. And you'll see that I had put some stuff on there and took it off, and I'm like, nope, that's not working for me. And by that I mean it's not bringing pleasure to my inner being. Now, you want to sort of learn, you really can't teach intuitive arting because it's something that you feel your way through. But you can start to practice that to get your brain synapses going in that direction, because your brain is designed, I've said it many times, and I will probably say it many more times. Your brain is designed to find patterns. If it doesn't find a pattern, it will create its own. Okay, that's how we get into some of this false memories and thinking we saw something when we really didn't, because your brain wants to make a pattern. It's when you're reading and your brain automatically thinks of the next word it's going to be. That's just because you have habitually seen that word after the first one umpteen times, or well, more than that, millions of times. Okay, so we're making a pocket because I like my pockets. Anywho, to start to get to do this is just take some leftovers that you have on your desktop. Okay, work with just what you already have out. Piece them together, lay them out. See, does it make you happy? You okay with it? I mean, you can just be okay with it. You don't have to love it. You could be like, yeah, that's okay, and do that. All right, and just shift it around and shuffle it around. It doesn't have to be a jig. It doesn't have to be a big journal page. I'm working on this is cardstock. Y'all know it's my favorite. I like doing journal pages on the flat, and then I will assemble them later and put them in a journal. Okay? Bind them together later when I feel like it. Excuse me, y'all. I was almost gonna yawn there for a second. Wow. So anyway, you can start with just a little tag or an ATC or something like that. It can be, you can start small. You can use paint, you can do collage, you can use die cuts, you just whatever fodder junk. Interchangeable word, treasure, junk, crap. It's all the same. Good stuff, y'all. And see if you can just put it together. And have fun. Don't worry about what it's going to look like. It's just paper. It's just stuff laying on your desk anyway that probably between you and me, might ought to go in that recycle bag over there. Just saying. But until then, see if you can do something with it. Play. Have fun. Do not expect anything good on the back end, y'all. Just let go of that whole concept of having something pretty. And the more you do it, the better you will get, because that's practice. And when you practice, you are forming habits. Now, when you're practicing, it's okay to throw something in every once in a while and go, oh, hey, you know what? I know the perfect thing to put on this, because you know in your head, you might not remember directly, but you know in your head stuff you have in your workspace, right? And you're like, oh, I know what's going to go perfectly there. I have that little dry cleaning label, and it's over here in my little number box. Yeah, something like that. Like this. I don't use staples very often, but something said, put a staple on it. And I'm like, okay, I put a staple on it because I got a staple right here. So that's what I did. Am I the best intuitive artist ever? No. Does it make me happy? Yes. And that's a good habit to be in. So now I have, this is a camera die cut. And, whatever I was initially going to use it for, I didn't like it. I didn't like how it looked, so I didn't use it, and I just tossed it over there. And I've got these little, these are actually some hole reinforcers that I made a while back, because I was making a bunch of tags and junk, and I had a bunch left, well, not a bunch, a few left over. And the way you do them is you use just your regular hole punch, regular offset size hole punch. You punch a hole, and then you take a circle punch, like half an inch, 3/4 inch maybe, and then you center up the first hole punch, and you center that into your circle punch, and you punch that out, and then you have a hole reinforcer. You can put on tags and reinforce holes. That's what them are. And I never really liked them on there, but I left them there because I'm like, I'm trying to use some of this stuff, y'all. I love that little cluster, though. That thing just made me happy. I'm like, I don't know what I'm even going to do with that. It may not even go on this page. Okay, you saw the thumbnail. You know what's on there. Just saying. Don't go back and look at the thumbnail now. No. So anywho, I'm just layering that up. And that's all clusters are just little bits and bops you have laying on your desk that you just assemble together, and you're like, yep, makes me happy. Okay, keep going. Nope, doesn't make me happy. Don't put it on there. Intuitive art. And every once in a while, I'm using some Fabrifix, and it is a silicone acetone. I don't know what it is, y'all. It's some kind of gooey, clear, gel-like glue. Okay, it smells funny. Probably shouldn't get it on your skin, but and that was just a piece of trash, little trash that was laying there, pieces of a flower, and I'm like, what is that even doing here? And I thought, oh, it'll go perfect on here. It will go perfect on here. So there we go. But anyway, I'm using that silicone. I think I don't know what it is. It's silicone brush. It was gifted to me as Star the Bar, June 2020. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect for using with this Fabrifix glue. Smoosh it down with, hold it down for a few seconds. So I'm like, oh yeah, that'll look good on there. Just stick it on there. It's just another little tiny piece of something. I don't even know what it was. So I'm like, yeah. Well, let's put this last little leafy thing over here. Maybe our cluster can go on it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. I like that. Yeah. What about these hole reinforcers? I don't know, because it's a big open empty spot up there. Now I spotted the diodes I made a while back. We'll link to that video. Love these diodes. Why haven't I used them already? I don't know. And I thought, let's see if we can put them on here. I'm like, yeah. So I'm just gonna line them all up and fiddle fart around with them. I have 5 of them, y'all. So that was kind of what was that? Was that last month? Might have been last month, y'all. I was exploring to see if I could make my own diodes, and I did. I'm so happy with that. I'm like, no, I don't like that. That still leaves this big open space over here, and I have this other ribbon over there, and I have some sequins over there. I don't think you saw them. I don't know. Nope, didn't like the diodes on there, so they come off. If you don't like it, don't use it. Save it. It's treasure for some. Maybe if I line these up a different way. Now they're a manila color, and I can't tell by looking at my screen, my editing screen, that those viney leaf things that I hand cut out, those are kind of a cream color as well. They look more whitish on here for editing. And this leaf, y'all, I found this is actually from my yard, y'all. Came out one of them skeleton leaves, only it got cut by the lawnmower. So, and I thought, well, let's use that. Yeah, it's going to go okay right there. Perfect. And I'm like, I still need something up there. And I decided I'm going to use that camera down there. And I thought, well, I don't like that missing a hole in it. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way, y'all. It could just be a bad die cut. I don't know. So I also found, I didn't found. I went and got, because I thought I wanted gold on the camera. But I found this browny, bronzy looking one. So we're just going to put some of that glittery gel ink on there. Okay? Makes me happy. So we're doing that. And then, see? Oh. So then we're going to take this, and this is cracker packaging. When you get crackers, saltines or Ritz crackers in this case, you get that plasticky wrapper on the outside. Well, this is from Ritz. And I thought, well, let's put some of that behind that little open spot and see what it looks like, because I think it'll be pretty. And I'm like, I love it. Not quite as dark as I wanted it to be. Okay, there's translucency. Okay, that means you can almost see through it. See, pretty. I thought, well, let's put another little piece on there and make it just a little slightly browner. So that's what I did. I put another one on there. Sorry, I didn't mean to squelch in your ear. No squelching allowed. So we did that, and that is the Fabrifix glue. Because, see, look, how cool is that? That's serendipitous, y'all. And I got that cracker wrapper out of the green bucket that's got all my other leftover fodder junk in it. And so it was okay to use it, because I knew perfectly it would work. And it did. So happy that it worked, because sometimes it doesn't always work. And portions of the video have been sped up for your viewing convenience and my voiceover ease. And we're going to use some more of my favorite glue. In the description box below, there's a link to the Facebook group for Art Joy of Sharing. Okay, and I will try to remember to link in the upper right hand corner to the Art Joy of Sharing channel, because they are live on Thursdays. And I also have a playlist of my prior Art Joy of Sharing videos, my Art Joy of Sharing share videos. So I decided I wanted to pop up the little cluster that we made. So I'm just doing that. I have these extra pieces over here that was, laying on my desk, wanting to be used, so I'm using them. And there we go. Put some glues on it. Smoosh it. I don't know which way I had it originally laying, but that's the way it's going now. And I'm like, I still have this space up here. Needs a quote. So I actually Googled for a quote and got one that I think is appropriate for this month. But in the meantime, we're going to have to go print that up. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the leaf on. And I'm just going around the edge and up the spine there. And we're going to lay that on there, and then we're going to put the no-stick silicone-coated parchment paper on top and weight it down while I go in the house and print that off. And there we go. I tried to print it on deli paper that I had attached to a piece of copy paper, but it kept jamming up my computer, so I'm like, well, forget it. We'll just use velum. And I thought, well, what color ink do I want? So I printed out some, different things. And then them flowers make a show. I love them little flowers, y'all. I need to make more of them. Just saying. So to cover up the glue spots, because, when you get vellum wettish, dampish, it just gets all curled up and crazy like, so don't do it. You just need glue or some kind of adhesive in a few spots, but it will show on the other side, so you need to cover that. That's what those little flowers got used for. And then I decided, it needs a feather. I knew exactly what it needed. It needed a feather. I knew I wanted a feather on there, so I went and fetched a feather. And this is a blush colored feather, dyed. It came that way, y'all. And I'm like, that's beautiful. You really can't see the leaf so much, but that's okay. It's perfect. And I thought, let's duck it over here so we can have more feathery, fluffy goodness over here. So I'm like, okay. And I thought, well, I like the threes, if you can tell. And I thought, well, let's see if we could put some up here in this upper vellum corner. Okay. And that's a pocket, and I keep trying to not block my pocket. I thought, well, look, on the back of that was a fine little fluffy, just a perfect serendipitous piece for right there. Now, I will tell you, I scanned this and printed it off on my little Canon selfie, which is extremely old. It was like one of the first ones they ever made, I think. And I just had a dickens of a time printing out my little pictures, and I put them on a card, it's a card lottery. So trimming up that sentiment, because I'm just bound and determined I'm going to use something's going in that pocket, y'all. And you can journal on the back. I can journal on the back. You can't. I can. Okay? I'm like, yeah, perfect. And I'm like, let's pull this lace in here. Put the lace on there. And I thought, that's not quite enough. Let's add another piece of lace to it, only smaller. So we're going to fabric fix that on there. And this is how I just mostly work. I kind of will have a general idea. Let's say I want to make a journal page, and I will flip through my previous painty papers to see if any of them spark an interest, and if they do, I use it. If they don't, then I'll make a new one in whatever color I feel like that day. I'm like, yeah, I like that color today. So we've got our little lace glued on there, and we're about to wrap it up, y'all. Quickish video, under 30 minutes. Look at that, just tucks in there so perfectly. Are you ready? Photo montage. I appreciate each and every one of you, your kind comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and your shares. If you've not already subscribed, I would like to invite you to take a moment to subscribe at this time. Don't y'all just love it? I do too. Oh, it's so pretty. I never did read that quote. What's it say? Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Did it? Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.